watch a spirit soar. Fists in the air, the crowds ablaze. Moments that seal the mundane's haze. No fear, no hold in this maze. Reach the peak of these wild days. It lives, Friday night lives. You die, but Friday night lives. Hosted by Dead Pit Radio. Stuntman, Marq, and Rebel Ralph. It lives, Friday night lives. You die, but Friday night lives. Hosted by Dead Pit Radio. Stuntman, Marq, and Rebel Ralph.
What y'all think about that? That's the new female cover version of the epic It Lives, Friday Night Lives song.
Sounds good. I like it.
So we are here once again on a Friday night, and possibly one of the shittiest pieces of news to come down the pipeline in a long time was that David Lynch passed away this past week. And, you know, I knew that Marq, I knew you were familiar with his work. And I know that we kind of talked about that before during the X-Files show.
Yeah.
I didn't know about Rambo. I didn't know, like, and I said that on another show, like, I didn't know if you know, were a fan of him, if you liked it, I had no idea. But here we are paying tribute to quite possibly one of the most independent, unique film directors of all time. Like a guy that absolutely did not really bend to any studio wishes after Dune. Like, I'll say that for certain. After Dune, he just decided, like, you know what? Fuck a bunch of this, and I'm going to do whatever I want.
Yeah, he was a guy for sure that didn't play the game of Hollywood. And best way to sum him up in one word, if you could, because he's many things, but I would say uncompromising.
Yeah.
You always got the feel that those films were his own. He wasn't copying off anybody else. It was all him.
One of the hardest things in the world to do is make something completely original. But you got to say he did. Like, he never...
Definitely, yeah.
He never, like, went by... You never had, like, a imagining or anything like that of a movie or anything like that. You just had straight movies that seemed to come from the pits of nightmares at times, but still, like, insane and great movies all the way through. So it's a shame, man, because, like, I'd heard a while back that he had emphysema. He was not doing that great. No, he chain smoked for a great number of years, like, and he would go on and off with it and things like that. And it seemed like he did everything obsessively. Like, he would do one thing for like years and have one, eat one thing for lunch and dinner for like 7 years straight. And just, he was just that kind of guy. It was very eccentric, to say the least.
Yeah, his interviews are great. If you ever watch any of his interviews, they're very fun to listen to, and just a fun guy to listen to.
There's a couple of guys, yeah, you're right, man, that I like, directors, that I love to listen to, and like he's one of them. Friedkin's one of them. They have the same kind of style, but just different approaches. But even John Landis, like, as much as, like, I enjoy, like, watching him talk about films and stuff a lot of time, because he is really knowledgeable about films in general. But, yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead, man.
I was going to say, the guy that was asking him, like, what do you think about films where they have, like, product placement? And all he could say is bullshit.
Shit, yeah. There's a great one. My favorite one, too, is when he's on, like, he's doing an interview with somebody. And he goes, yeah, Eraserhead is, believe it or not, my most spiritual film. And the guy goes, can you elaborate on that? And he goes, no. And he just stops talking. The guy's like, okay. He really he did have this idea, and I think that he's right too. He was like, I don't want to talk about my films. I don't want to tell you what they're about. Like, I don't want to tell
Yeah.
you, like, I don't want to do like commentaries and shit over and tell you like what they're about and stuff like that. Like, I'm like, they're up for interpretation. He's like, once they're out there, like they're just out there for people to put their own kind of like spin on what they think they mean. Like, I'm not going to tell you like what it is about, or because it's different for different people. So
Yeah.
I appreciated that fact about Lynch too.
Yeah.
But let's see who we got in the chat right now. There's already a bunch of people in here. Gary Blow says, "Rest in peace, one of the greatest directors in the world." Is he the greatest director in the world? No, but still much respect to him. There's a lot of people that would say he is, actually. Greg Brewer's in here. Jojo, Dino Machino, the man of 1,001 holds. Devin's in here. Dark Metal Spider. It's always good to have him. And or her. Alex Sanchez. Fred's in here. Crystal. I'm going to say this is Dabian.
Yeah,
Sounds right. Okay.
Dabian.
Jimmy. The lip. Dirk. It's good to have you in here, man. For some reason, I knew Dirk would like David Lynch films. I just predicted that would probably be the case. God Almighty, back from the 1990s, Basham Brothers, Jose Canseco. It's good to have you in here, and we hope that you can maintain yourself and lay off of the cocaine. Scratch is in here. Old Scratch, Carter. As always, good to have you in here. Pronounce this for me, Rambo.
Shamozen. But I know his real I know his real name is Ken, but I think Shamozen.
Mhm.
I know you told me that last time, but I did not remember. Death Cams 3. I don't remember that one. But he says Evening Jits. Landfill Joy. I don't remember that one either, but it's good to have some new folks in here too. Let's see. We got Dylan, as always, man. It's good to have you in here from way back in the day. AS and ASFD. Justin's in here. Connected's in here. Mozart's Ghost is in here. David Dilks is in here. Eduardo 5150. There we go. And Danny Dudada. So here's what I thought that we could do, right? Let's just talk about what we like, either his favorite films or his favorite scenes from his films, and kind of just discuss that. Like, I mean, the good thing about Lynch, in my opinion, and by the way, this is not going to be a whole show about David Lynch, because I don't think we could do a 2.5, 3 hour long show on David Lynch, but maybe we could. But
you could. I mean,
yeah,
his films are like 3 hours, so I mean, it would just lose a lot of people, though.
But I will say that, like, there's going to be a portion we're going to be talking about his films, and then we'll just do a Q&A like we always do, and just, people can ask us whatever, put in comments about whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, I think it's a good time to just celebrate the man and his movies. So yeah, the good thing about Lynch, though, I was going to say is that he had some accessible films, for sure, like The Elephant Man, Dune, a lot of movies that were more straightforward narrative kind of movie, and then he had some fucking movies that were almost impossible to follow. So, like, whatever you kind of liked, he had a mixture of both. So what do you guys think?
Go ahead, Mark.
I mean, I think the first one that I saw might have been Blue Velvet, and I think that's the one that most people have probably seen for some reason or another. Maybe it's Dennis Hopper or a lot of Kyle MacLachlan fans. I'm not sure which. I know that was the film that sort of revitalized Hopper's career. But there's so many memorable scenes and pieces of dialogue in it. I know one kind of got popularized by Clerks, where Hopper's, I think he's high on the ether or whatever the gas is that he carries around, and and huffs. He's like, I'll fuck anything that moves.
Yeah.
And I mean, just a crazy character. And I don't think that was Lynch's first choice, but I'm glad he did get the role because, like I said, it's very, very memorable. But yeah, it's bizarre, but I mean, that's kind of like his trademark. I mean, surrealism is David Lynch's thing. Like that's just what he does, you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
that one's been a favorite for a long time. Love Blue Velvet.
The Frank Booth, pretty much every scene he's in
Mhm.
is like, you're just glued to watching it. It's just one of those roles where he was kind of like made to play that role. He is that crazy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if he's huffing ether, but he's definitely like that guy, like in his personality.
Yeah.
So I think that movie, it wasn't the first movie. The first movie I know I ever saw was Elephant Man that he did. But I did see Blue Velvet not long after that and was like completely blown away by Dennis Hopper's performance and also the fact of how kind of serious that movie is, despite being like comedic, but it deals with like a lot of
Mhm.
perversion and like grape and sexual
Mhm.
kind of stuff. And like, I mean,
So does Wild at Heart in a way,
Yeah.
and I believe that Wild at Heart is supposed to be more comedic, but I just found myself laughing at more stuff in Blue Velvet. But
well,
I
yeah,
guess that's
because
just
it's
kind of
so over
I
the
gotta
top.
yeah, you kind of have to have a sixth sense of humor to laugh at some of that stuff. But yeah, it's just it's funny, but I don't think it's all intentional.
No, yeah, don't you fucking look at me. Anakin, fuck that shit.
Fab's Blue Ribbon.
There's so many great quotes in that movie.
Yeah.
All from Dennis Hopper, by the way. Like, was like,
Yeah. I
pretty
wish
much-
Brad Dourif had a bit more to do. He's just kind of in there, but yeah, I mean, hell, again, I'm glad that we got Hopper in there because it's a hell of a role, hell of a performance. What about you,
So-
Rambo? You a Blue Velvet guy or?
It's okay. I mean, I
Mhm.
never really got into Lynch. Like Lost Highway wasn't for me. I don't mind Blue Velvet, especially because of Dennis Hopper. I definitely think he steals the show, and he's magnetic to every scene he's in, and I could watch it for him at the very least.
Mhm.
And Eraserhead, I like the visuals. I think I mean, it's confusing. I don't know what the hell happened in the movie. I can't explain it to you, but some pretty interesting visuals. So I do like how original it is. But I guess because it's really his most straightforward, the one I got into the most was Dune. But maybe because I'm
Yeah.
also a sci-fi guy, never read the book. I liked it more than the new stuff because the new stuff I thought was just bland, boring, and a bunch of fucking sand. Well, the old one is Doom, but still has this weirdness to it. Like
Mhm.
the guy that's like hanging up and like seems like be always profusely sweating. The big fat guy is just like taking other guys, and it's like you don't know what he's going to do with them. And then the it seems like a weird book anyway. Like your voice shoots and it's a weapon or something. So I'm like, okay. I thought he kind of with the way the visuals and the music was, I definitely saw his flavor in it. I
Mhm.
think it's that quirkiness that I wouldn't say I love the film, but I like it for what it is. And I just thought it was more interesting than the newer stuff, which was just I thought it
I
was more
was
bland.
I was gonna say Rambo. I really prefer that movie over the new Dune movies. I don't know why, but like I mean I know it's not anywhere near like effects level of the new movies or anything like that, but like there's
Right.
something about it that's much more grounded in reality than those movies. It's much more kind of fun and tangible for a movie like that than the new ones.
I'd agree.
So did either of you get into Twin Peaks? I never really saw much of it to make an opinion.
So here's the interesting part. I'm betting Mark has the same story too, but I may be wrong. I didn't get into Twin Peaks until I saw the X-Files, and I got into Twin Peaks and watched them because of the X-Files, because I had heard that was a huge inspiration for those characters and like especially for Mulder.
Mhm.
So then I went back and watched Twin Peaks like after that, and that kind of became, I kind of understood more where that was coming from. And
Okay.
because if you
Same.
look at it, Mulder is basically Kyle MacLachlan's character, like
Yeah, Dale
basically
Cooper.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not the. I know there's like diehard cult fans of that show. I've never been quite on the level. My fandom always lie more in X Files. I think everybody knows that. But like, I still liked the show. Um, I need to rewatch some of the newer stuff that they did. I think it was 2017. Um, I also need to rewatch Fire Walk with Me. Yeah, that I couldn't really talk too much about without getting people lost, because I know I'm pretty sure a lot of people haven't seen that show, but it is cool from what I remember. I just got to rewatch it. I need to revisit it. So now's probably the time, all things considered.
It's one of those shows. It's like it has scenes in it. They're like fever dream kind of scenes, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it has a really interesting story that follows all the way through with the Laura Palmer stuff, and also like one of the best scores for a show like that
Mm.
matches like what the show was about, and like especially for her character in it as well. Even like the retread of the show that came back, here recently. It's weird because normally when you do a show like that, like look at the X Files, you come back after so many years, like it ain't worth a shit, and like you've lost any kind of vision. But that didn't really seem to happen.
Mhm.
Um, you know, in his version of it. I also think it's funny as hell, like that he's probably one of the best characters, and he inserts himself in that show. Like, and he has some of the best lines in the whole show. Oh God. But that show came out, what was it? It had to be the late 80s, early 90s, because I was too young to get
I
it.
think it was
Or
early
like,
90s.
yeah, I was too young to like, watch it and
Mhm.
enjoy it or anything. But yeah.
Same here.
Let's see. 1990 it premiered.
Yeah, that makes sense. It
So
was
I guess that
way
would
over
have
my head at that time.
yeah, that would have been around Wild at Heart. And I guess that's a good segue. Are you guys fans of Wild at Heart?
I'm a fan of anything where Nicolas Cage goes crazy in a movie, and Nicolas Cages it up to like a 10. And
Uh,
that's probably one of like 3 of his movies where it's like he really Nicolas Cages. He cages out in that movie.
yeah, I mean, even from the opening scene where he kills the guy who pulls the switchblade on him,
Yep.
and it's so violent. I mean, I think at the end of that, when he kills the guy, like his brains are hanging out the back of his head, and
Yep.
that's all from Cage bashing the guy's head on the floor. So, I mean, what a way to open a film. Um, there's a couple, I don't want to say twists, but that's the thing about Lynch. A lot of his films aren't really predictable, especially if you
No.
you know nothing about it going in. I'll give him that. He's very unpredictable because it can kind of go any which way with him.
Yes.
That's just kind of been his style forever. And I enjoy that quite a bit.
Well, there's several of his movies where you'll be sitting there watching it and it will just seem like a regular movie, but then some sort of nightmarish like imagery will come
Mhm.
out at you and like jolt you into the fact that you really don't know what he's going to do, which
Mhm.
is such a cool thing. Like I
Yeah.
love it when you don't know like what a director, and like they're dangerous, and like you have no idea which direction they're going to take you, and anything could happen at any fucking time.
Mhm.
Like I mean, a perfect example of that to me would be um like the hallway phantom scene in Inland Empire, or
Right.
Bob too when he appears.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh there's so many great scenes like that just
Yeah.
catch you off guard completely. And I think the one that everybody always references, and I'm trying to remember which movie this is in, and it's escaping me for the moment, where it's like a straight shot and they're coming around a corner and the woman just like almost like comes right around right into the camera, and she's like,
Is that Lost Highway? There might be Lost Highway.
There's a similar scene in Mulholland Drive like that.
I think it is Mulholland Drive that I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Where it's like a homeless person comes from around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So Bobby's got a couple super chats. Hold on one second. Let's do these real quick.
I think these are like David Lynch. You'll read them and Bobby is going to be the new David Lynch.
Very Lynchian, yeah. Go ahead, Rambo.
So I guess this is a two-parter. So Bobby, I expect you to be a director and you'll be the new David Lynch. You'll put it out there and people be like, you figure out what it means. Thank you, Bobby. You're doing a story. You know, we talked about it. I never saw Punty Brewster. I know you did. We had a conversation about this. Like you saw, I think, Aaron, you saw Punty Brewster. I'm like, I know the name. I never saw it. But Rise of Evil Spear is pretty much a sequel to the two-parters episode called Perils of Punty. I love that word, Punty. Bunker. Friends going camping. I think the second one is, let me see. Let me go down here. Telling a story about Indian spirit and a big spider. I took that and put in together my own story. Are you stealing from that guy that you need a giant spider at the end of the movie?
Yes.
Wild Wild West. I'm telling you.
Right. What was that guy's name? He was a producer, like really. Robert Evans, was that who it was?
Oh no, it was.
We need a giant spider.
I forgot what it was. I'll think about it. John Peters.
John Peters, that's right.
Because it was the Superman script, Kevin Smith. And he's like, the spider's most serious in the Insect Kingdom. You put a giant spider for Superman to fight. And then he didn't get that, so then they put in Wild Wild West, in which they fight a giant spider.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of it. So you're learning, Bobby. You learn from John Peters. You got to put a giant spider at the end of it and fight. That's
how you do
it. That's why David Lynch had to have more of a hit film. He should have put a giant spider at the end of like Lost Highway. It's just attack Bill Pullman.
Some good questions in here though, real quick. What this is great. I wanted to talk about this anyway. What do you guys think of Lynch's version of Return of the Jedi would have looked like?
I would love to have seen it.
I would have.
I have no idea.
I would have loved to have known what that would look like. But that's probably my favorite story that he tells on. There's an interview with him that he tells a story about meeting George Lucas and them talking about him directing Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And you just need to search that out on YouTube, man. Like, because him telling it is worth hearing it.
Yeah.
That would never happen. He had no interest in any of those movies.
Plus, I don't think he would have been able to write it. And that's the thing is that it wouldn't have his script, which is what makes them unique.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby says, Franco Bill, have you seen the cartoon of Punky Brewster in the 2021 show where she is all grown up and got No, I have not seen that. She did produce one of the best documentaries I've ever seen on like child actors though. And I can't remember the name. We talked about it before, but it's just a bunch of behind the scenes footage of like young actors around the early 90s. And it has like Jonathan Brandis in it and the Culkins and Furlong and all those people, like all the people that were big around that time period. She would videotape all that stuff, like the behind the scenes, just interactions with them. And there's like a documentary she put together that has all kinds of shit like that in it. Anyway. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Davian says, what I really like about Wild at Heart, you definitely know when the sex scenes are coming because of the rock music starts. That's so true.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. A lot of it's sex and cigarettes is that movie, pretty much.
Yep. Inland Empire has the scene where Laura Dern rushes towards the camera and gives you this face of nightmares. Yeah, that's a really well-known scene too.
Mm.
Let's talk real quick though.
Well, one quick thing I want to mention before the one thing about Lost Highway I always remember is that it's one of the last scenes Richard Pryor was in. Because I always forget.
That's
he
right.
is in that. I forgot.
Because I remember seeing him like, it's Richard Pryor.
Right.
What are
Yeah.
you doing here?
Yeah.
Might have been the last thing he did. I mean, I still wonder how that came about.
Yeah, I don't ever remember hearing any stories about how that came about.
If anybody in here knows, like, let us know. The scene from Lost Highway that I'll always remember is the mystery man scene, and where, like, I think it's Bill Pullman that shows up, and he's like taken aside by a guy at a party,
Mhm.
and
Oh, is that Robert Blake?
yeah, the mystery man. Like,
I
who
think that's Robert Blake's last movie, isn't it?
is it?
I'm
That would
pretty
make
sure it
sense.
is. I think so.
And it's just such a fucked up scene because, first of all, Robert Blake looks like Brando in Island of Dr. Moreau. You know, he's got like the white face paint shit and the red lips and shit. Like, he's just so, it's so creepy. And he gives this really weird conversation about answering his phone and all this stuff. It's just like a perfect non sequitur scene to show up in a movie like that. And like,
Yeah, I think he says like call home. He's like, I'm there, and then Pullman's like, you're crazy or something like that. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
But I was going to say, let's talk about Eraserhead for a second, because for my money, probably David Lynch's greatest scene. There's two in that movie that I think are great: the chicken scene, and the lady in the radiator. Those two scenes, man, like, that movie is so good in a cult John Waters crazy, like, fever dream kind of way. And the lady in the radiator singing that song, you know, is like, in heaven everything is fine and all that stuff.
Mhm.
That whole thing, man. And it just produces that whole movie produces such an anxiety kind of feeling and just a tension. And you know,
Yeah.
I still contend that they basically ripped that off for Combat Shock, which is a great film in and of itself, but it's basically Eraserhead, but with like a guy with PTSD and a baby instead of
I
like,
could see that. I didn't think about that, but yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah.
yeah, it's just the atmosphere of that movie, I don't think has ever been recreated or topped, really.
Mm. Agreed.
Yeah, Robert Blake is creepy. Well, I guess we know now because he was kind of a psychopath for real. So like, he's the perfect guy to play that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, what Mark? Either one of you guys, like, what are your thoughts on Eraserhead?
That's a film where I remember watching it because it was referred to me by someone, and they're like, "Oh, you got to watch it," and I had no idea what I was going in for. But like you said, like the scene with the chicken always stuck with me. The
Yeah,
fact that it's like making these weird noises and stuff, and I think it even bleeds when he stabs it. Like it, I don't know. Like those are the type of images and the type of things that only could come from Lynch. Oh, it seems like only he could make that work. Um, God, I like the Eraserhead, but I actually think I like Elephant Man just a little bit more.
yeah. I mean, Elephant
Maybe it's
Man.
for Hopkins and John Hurt. Like their whole, if you could call it dynamic in the movie, I wish was delved into even more. It seems to go into the idea of sensationalism for that character sort of being inhumane, but then you kind of find out that he's really not, at least by the end anyway, or the middle towards the end. It's a great, like, I guess you could say character study. I know it is based off of a real guy. The real guy's name, it was somewhat close to, was it John Marq? I think it's John Marq in the movie, but it's Joseph Marq in real life. One of the two.
I'm not sure, but you're right. It's a real disorder. Yeah,
Yeah.
a real guy.
Yeah, the whole freak show carnival thing. I mean, all that stuff's always been interesting to me, but just their whole relationship, I wish was explored just a bit more. But I still love the movie. I like that one a bit more than Eraserhead, personally.
I'm glad you said that too, because like that's probably the most. I had to look this guy's name up because like I wanted to make sure that I got it right. But the cinematographer on that film is Freddie Francis. He directed the Tales from the Crypt anthology, by the way, and he was the cinematographer on Cape Fear, the remake, and all that too.
Mhm.
Really well known. I think he won 2 Academy Awards. I think it's his cinematography in that movie and the way that that movie is shot and like so many different angles and also
Mhm.
like lit as well
Yes.
as like David Lynch being able to just play it completely straight, not go fucking crazy, which is amazing in of itself. But like, yeah, that movie is beautiful. Like if you go back and watch it now, especially in any kind of like Blu-ray format or above, and like it's such a well shot and well made film, like
Yes.
just all together.
Yeah.
You may be right. It may be like his best made film. Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree.
Just all in all.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. Sin says John Marq was his real name as far as I remember. I have the book about his life, wild medical pics, and Michael Jackson tried to buy a skeleton. Yeah, that's true.
It's insane.
Michael Jackson was a weird do a whole show on that at some point. David Bowie played Marq in the play of the Elephant Man. Holy shit, I did not know that.
Nice.
That had to be a wild experience to see that.
Right.
This pretty much sums it up too. When I was in high school, my friend borrowed my Eraserhead DVD. Had never seen it. Wanted to watch it with his girlfriend. She broke up with him after the movie was over. Yeah, I don't think I would show any female
No.
partner
No.
like any David Lynch film really, except maybe Elephant. Well, not even Elephant Man. Now that I think about it.
Right.
Let's see. Yeah, I'd say a lot of people feel this way too, Brad. Eraserhead's one of those films I'm good with watching once, and that's it.
Mhm.
And that was Robert Blake's last movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
So let's touch on a couple, and I'll tell you my favorite right now. We haven't even talked about it yet. It makes absolutely zero sense. It's one of those real non sequitur movies. I love it though because like I'm just a huge fan of the actors and actresses in this movie. But my actual favorite Lynch film is Mulholland Drive. And that movie in the diner scene in particular, you know the scene I'm talking about too,
Oh yeah.
is just it's a combination of everything that I think that makes Lynch great. Like the camera work sets that scene up, the dialogue, and then just the out of nowhere shit that happens, all like perfectly set that scene up for me too. But that whole movie is like the weirdest fucking just great culmination of everything that I think he did or was trying to do in one film. It might be the most Lynchian movie ever, in other words.
Yeah, I mean, that is what they say, right? Is it Lynchian or Lynchism?
Yeah,
Something
Lynchian,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah. It just works in a multitude of different levels. I mean, God, the music is so good, especially like when the crash scene happens and then she starts wandering out from the limo and everything. And like Naomi Watts, I would say that film probably elevated her quite a bit. Like, I
Yes.
don't think she was anywhere near the level like before that she became after that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that the love scene is really great. Can't forget about that. It's one of my personal favorites. I know you liked it, Aaron.
Well, you think about, man, like I mean, just some of there's 3 or 4 different scenes in that movie where I'm just like, I still can't believe that he made it. You know what I mean? Like, I still can't believe that exists in a movie.
Yeah.
But when did she get King Kong? Because there's a great story about that too. It had to be
That was
came out 2005.
okay.
So,
So 2001 was Mulholland Drive. So like not very long after that, there's a story where she called him and was like, "They're asking me to play this role, and like I don't know if I should play the role or not." And he says the single greatest piece of advice ever. He said something to her like, "Anybody that sits in the hand of King Kong will be a movie star forever." Hey. And she was like, she took it. So,
Yeah.
and that kind of turned out to be the case.
No, not
she's,
bad advice.
She's great.
I agree. I really like I was trouble with his last name. Is it Justin Theroux? Is that how you say it?
I think so. Yeah. I
He would
never
go on
pronounce
to
it.
Be more well known for American Psycho, I think, his role in that alongside Christian Bale. But yeah, he plays the director who probably in a lot of ways, like Lynch, doesn't want to compromise for Hollywood, but once his life is threatened, he kind of is like, all right, well, fuck, I guess I have to. And that kind of says to me that like that's almost what it would take for Lynch to be compromised. If his life's on the line, maybe he'll do what the studio wants him to do. So I always love that piece of subplot that's running throughout the movie. I mean, of course, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, there's another clip I watched on YouTube after I like found out that he passed away, where it's like it's a producer telling him that he needs to like, or basically he needs to cut back on a scene, like make it shorter or whatever, and he goes fucking absolutely insane on him. And he's just like, what the fuck? Who gives a fuck how long the scene is? Fuck that shit. And like just like turns around. Oh God.
Yeah, I think one of the only few films, I could be wrong. If somebody in the chat knows if I'm wrong, please correct me. But I know he had to make some cuts to Wild at Heart, but it was only for violence, I think. And I think it's the Harry Dean Stanton's death scene.
Yep.
That was like cut back quite a bit. I don't know if the uncut footage is out there or if there is an uncut version. Probably not. I know how Lynch is. Like once it's done, it's just kind of the way it is. But yeah, that's Lynch, man. I mean, that describes him perfectly. That the clip you were just talking about. If he makes it that way, that's the way it's going to be, you know?
It was I looked this up, Mark, because I wanted to know myself too. So it was originally rated X, right? And he was obligated to deliver an R-rated film, so he had to change the scene where William Dafoe shoots himself with a shotgun.
Right.
Like, tone down all that shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it was audience members were walking out or something like that.
Yeah.
Like they weren't liking all the violence that's in it because there's quite a bit of sex. And the violence is very spread out. It's not like it's in every other scene in that movie. But it's a love story road movie, but I think it's very, very strong. One film we didn't touch, not to move past Mulholland Drive too quickly, but Straight Story. Have you guys seen that one?
That's one I've never seen his, and I've always heard about it. But like it's the Disney one, right? That he did. That was I've never watched that. I don't know why. Yeah,
that's a good one, but I mean, it's not. I'd say it's not like anything else he ever did. I've only seen it that one time. I don't own it. I don't even know if it's on Blu-ray. No, on Disney, it probably isn't.
Yeah,
but he didn't write that one.
It's about straight people. The whole movie's about gay people.
It's one of his most successful films. I'll just say.
Is it about straight people?
Well, I mean they are, but I don't think that's.
It's not exclusively about that, from what I understand. Would that be killer? It was.
But yeah, Matthew, give it a go. Yeah, you'll probably like it more than Craven the Hunter.
Shit.
Probably.
But I mean, God, there's so much to dig into with Mulholland Drive. I think we could be on here all night, but I think we kind of touched the main points. Rambo, have you've seen Mulholland Drive, right?
Well, I thought I did, then I looked it up, but apparently I did review it, so I forgot that I watched it.
Okay.
So somebody mentioned Inland Empire is his best film. I will say this: it's his most like. It might be that when Mulholland Drive might be his most challenging like films to grasp in terms of like it's very tenuous kind of reality running through both those movies, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're just going into a David Lynch kind of experience, I probably wouldn't start with Inland Empire. I'll put it that way.
No, I mean it's shot on DV. It doesn't hold the same look like that 35 millimeter does in any way. But that's more than obvious given how DV looks. But it just that really offsets the feel of that movie. I guess he was trying to accomplish something a lot more. I hate to use the word abstract because that almost seems like it's kind of beneath him in a way, but maybe even more surreal than some of his other stuff. I don't know. That's the crazy thing with him. Like you never really know what he's going for. Sometimes you kind of just have to. Yeah, you got to just attach your own like ideas to it and go with it.
The locomotion dance scene in there and everything. You know, one we didn't mention really at all. I don't know how you feel about this one either, Mark. I'm not sure, Rambo, if you've seen this one, but what about Firewalk with Me?
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it?
Yeah, I got to rewatch it. It's been so long. That's one of the ones where I haven't watched as much as the other ones. That and Inland Empire, I think I've only seen once.
Now, here's the weird part about that whole thing to me. Like, there's some really uncomfortable sexual like stuff in that and in Twin Peaks too, with like incest and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if I can say the shit that happens on YouTube. We'll probably get like fucking, but like, yeah, I mean, it seems like it would be because it's like a mainstream style kind of movie in a way, but it's not when you like watch it. Like, you'll really quickly realize, that it is not at all. And neither is the Twin Peaks Return that was, 2017.
From what I remember, isn't Fire Walk with Me a prequel to the show? Or am I wrong?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've seen that one too.
Honestly. I got to rewatch that. It's been so long.
Yeah, it has to be because she's basically dead at the beginning of the, so yeah, it would about have to be.
Yeah.
So I guess to sum up 45 minutes into this, like, and we could talk about a lot of these films too in great detail, but like, I think the one thing I respected most about him was that like he found a way to do whatever he wanted and still be in the system and got famous despite himself, really. Like, he didn't get famous for like riding, the studios and the producers and things like that. He got famous for the exact opposite, for like doing shit against all of that, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the way to go about it. There's very few people that ever succeeded in that too.
Why do you think that was? I mean, given how different his stuff is, I mean, is it probably because he broke into the industry when it was a completely different time and you could kind of get away with that?
He broke into it in the 70s. So it was like you could do that and actually get famous at that time in the 70s. And I don't think that in any other time you could. Like, definitely not in the 80s, in the mid 80s, not the 90s for sure. But like, that idea of making a film like Eraserhead that it's so, man, that there's no way that movie should be famous, but it is because it became like a cult film. And there's very like, you can look at like Rocky Horror, Eraserhead, Night of the Living Dead. There's a couple more in there that like, but they got famous based on cult status, not based on like Texas Chainsaw might even be another one too. That got, they kind of despite themselves got famous. We got a couple of super chats here real quick.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't get this one yet, did I?
No, not yet. Thank you, Hopium.
Yeah. Rest in peace, David Lynch. Twin Peaks Returns is one of the greatest pieces of entertainment I've ever watched, hands down. Yep. Nobody saw it coming either. Everybody thought he was going to sell out and it was going to be a piece of shit, and he totally did. He totally like went the opposite direction. Twin Peaks season 1 and 2 are fairly tame mystery horror shows. Firewalk with Me and The Return amps it up tenfold in terms of how graphic and disturbing. Yep, you're definitely right. And here, yeah, this is easy. This is a good point. He could have easily sold out. I think Dune's poor box office and critic reviews killed any desire to do more big movies.
Mm.
Yeah.
We got to do this one real quick before we get to Bobby's super chat.
No problem.
It's one of my favorite parts of the show. Okay. You get to tongue bathe Nev Campbell, but the entire time you have to wear headphones and all you can hear is Joe Biden and Mr. T slurping Jello in your ear. What's stopping you? God.
I put the headphone like this since this ear's not that great, so I wouldn't hear it anyway.
I don't think that would even distract me in that case, to be honest. Like, I think I'd still be fine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends. If she's that wet, you're not going to hear anything. You don't hear more of you than the red. Just
I
hope
forgot
she
about
ain't
Pink
dry.
Flamingos. You're right. Yeah. El Topo. Yeah. That one too.
Have you
Although
seen any of that guy's movies? Who did El Topo?
Unfortunately, I bought maybe not unfortunately. It's just like there's a
Jodorowsky.
line. Yeah, Jodorowsky. There's a line that I can I tiptoe on between like surrealism and and normal narrative filmmaking, and I can kind of cross over. And David Lynch did a really good job skirting that line, but Alexander Jodorowsky, he fucking tap danced on that line, and I can't watch a lot of his films. Like, I just can't. Too much acid and too much just crazy.
Especially Holy Mountain.
Yeah,
I like Holy Mountain, but man, it's an acid trip. I think Santa Sangre is one of his best, in my opinion. That's always been the one I've gone back to the most. But
Okay.
I think, was that Severin put that out not too long ago, a few years ago?
Yeah. Anchor Bay put it out in that box set. That was the first thing I got. And then Severin put out, they did. They put it back out. You know what though, thinking about that's something we need to do at some point, is either a tier list or just a show about John Waters. Because we've never talked about that dude, but he has got a bunch of really good films actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like some.
Let's see here. We'll get to Bobby's super chat. Go ahead, Rambo.
So I guess I'm reading a script of Rambo versus, I guess, Del Toro from The Hunted, and you like the idea until the end where Rambo's flying, shooting lasers from his eyes. I guess I get my angry voice and burst when Rambo blows up. Well, that sounds like if David Lynch sold out, he would make that movie.
The killer.
David is like, hey, we need you to do a Rambo film. It's like, bullshit. Okay, I'll write this. And just, that way they'll never ask me again to make another movie. That's big budget. So I just
killer.
I just see someone doing that. That's what people said Joker 2 was, that someone just made it really shitty just to screw people over.
I kind of don't think he had that kind of insight.
No.
I don't think he thought that far ahead, to be honest.
No, not at all. Thank you, Bobby.
Season 3 has interdimensional entities, time travel, Ghostbuster containment units, alternate universes, video game style. Final Showdown is my favorite thing. Yep. Gozer says, talking about the show versus the Firewalk with Me movie. Firewalk with Me doesn't compare to the show. I'm sorry. I think Lynch has probably got to be one of the most subjective directors ever. Everybody's probably going to like something a little bit different, depending on what style of movie you like. So I don't know if it's, you could argue his movies, but I don't know what the point in it would be. Say one is better than the other one.
Yeah, I know CK is not a big Lynch guy. Is there anything that he even halfway likes
from Lynch?
Yeah,
I've never heard him really talk about him.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, for me, I would say Dune, Blue Velvet, and Eraserhead. I didn't see Wild at Heart. I didn't see The Elephant Man, so
you should see Wild at Heart though, Rambo.
It looks good. I've seen the trailer. Wonderful Nick Cage sounds good.
Don't forget Crispin Glover's in there too.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Please do a John Waters show. Weston says we'll do a Pink Flamingos watch party. That'd be so cute. Rapid Kirby 3K says, while his movies are hit and miss, like I think of Stanley Kubrick's films, rest in peace, David Lynch.
Which do you like more, Kubrick or Lynch? I mean, they're two very different, of course, but
You
if you
asking
had-
us or
Yeah,
Rapid
you.
Kirby?
Well, you guys.
I'd say Kubrick for me.
See, that's why I asked to see. It would be tough for you. That's why I ask these things.
Oh my god, it's like two completely different styles of filmmaking, man. Like it couldn't
Exactly.
be any more different
Exactly.
styles. I mean, I'd probably go with Kubrick, even though I like Lynch's personality better, and I like his kind of overall just his style and stuff better. Like, I don't know if you could deny the fact that Kubrick made 4 or 5 films that were like modern classics, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Serial Mom, yeah, that's one of my favorite movies that nobody ever talks about anymore.
That's fun.
If you haven't watched Twin Peaks: Return, you have to watch Part 8. You have to see it to believe it. It's basically a standalone episode, but I've never seen anything like it. Yep. Not to give it away or anything. This is what I was talking about. Yeah, David Lynch talking about his George Lucas lunch was great. What is a Wookiee? Like he had no concept of anything related to Star Wars. I did watch a couple of these scratch. Yeah, his daily weather reports because they're so bizarre. For some reason, he got into this habit of like posting them. I think he was on YouTube where he posted them. Just like he would just do like a weather report and just be like, it's 76 degrees outside. It's raining, like whatever. It's going to be a great day or something. It was so crazy.
I saw that because someone, before I actually got on here, I looked a bit and someone did like an 8.5 minute like montage of just all the different stuff like that, the clips and interviews, things like that.
Nice.
Yeah, most people are saying like talking about the Lynch versus Kubrick thing, like just two completely different things. I never did. No, I didn't even know his cartoon Dumbland. Yeah, like it would have been awesome to see his films in a theater. Like I think that's more so than a lot of people would have made a difference because they're so visual, and like it would have been a complete, and having a crowd too would have been amazing for some of that stuff.
Yeah,
I've never seen any of his films in a theater, so that sucks
neither
to
have
me.
I.
Also, Bob Uecker died, which did suck as well.
Wow.
Personal anecdote. This is killer. Whenever they play both Kubrick and Lynch movies at the IFC Center and here in New York City, Lynch is always sold out.
Nice.
So, okay, people in the chat, post in here what your favorite scene is from a David Lynch movie. I think that would be cool to just read out. And then we will move on to other things, but as a parting shot, whatever your favorite scene is from whatever your favorite Lynch movie is, or maybe just your favorite scene from any Lynch movie.
Also, if anybody in here knows, he did a ton of short film work. Does anybody know where? Is there like a spot where I could watch a lot of that stuff or anything? Don't know if it's all wildly available anywhere.
Mr. Belvedere. I forgot about that show with Bob Uecker. Sorry. Somebody posted that and I was like, that takes me back to being a kid for sure. Great ones here. It ain't too hard, LA. You'll pick one, motherfucker. It's like when we make Mark rank things. Sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah.
All right, let's read a couple of these here. The candy-colored clown scene from Blue Velvet. Yeah. All the scenes from Dune. The scene in the Dune 1984 movie when they enter Arrakis through the gateway. Yep.
I remember that.
Club Silencio in Mulholland Drive. Oh, yeah, this is fucking killer. I forgot all about this. Laura Palmer's doppelganger talking backwards and screaming her lungs out. Yep. That scene in Lost Time with Bill Pullman at the party and the creepy dude that walks up, that's what we were just talking about a little bit earlier, and says that he's at his house right now. That was Robert Blake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dune has the best end credit sequence ever made. I forgot about this too. The David Bowie scene in the Twin Peaks movie. The ending of Wild at Heart is Lynch's happiest ending. That may be true.
I think he said that, I can't remember why he said he changed it, but I know he said like it was vastly different from the book. It was much darker ending or something like that. But yeah, again, I've never read the book.
Synthetic says, it's hard to pick one scene, but Boy Peru's scene always cracks me up. See, and when people ask me this question, it's like, I don't know how to respond to that with Lynch films because it's like, you kind of have to know what kind of films you like. Because to say like that Mulholland Drive or Lost Highway or Inland Empire, like that anybody would like those movies, you'd have to be into it. You have to be into a certain style of film or like, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to recommend those movies.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a great one. This one's one that a lot of people know. The scene in Blue Velvet where Kyle's hiding in the closet, Dennis Hopper comes in the apartment, or when Hopper enters the house that Kyle just got to.
I wouldn't say it's a favorite, but just the fact that Steen was in Dune for the police.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Steen,
Yeah.
have a sword fight or whatever.
Doesn't Sting always just seem like he's bored as fuck to be anywhere that he's at? Like, that's the vibe that I just always get from Sting.
Yeah.
He's
It's
just like,
Steen. It's Steen.
like,
Oh God, it's
yeah,
Steen.
I mean, not that Sting. That Sting's killer, but oh, Bobby's got another super chat. Okay, here you go, Rainbow.
Saw Punty Brewster's tough for me to pick, which is my favorite Tiz characters between Punty and Pippi. Pippi Le Pew. For the longest time has been Pippi. First saw the cartoon on Tuobo. I don't know what someone probably told me what that was before, but Pippi. He's a Pippi for your Punty. Thank you, Bobby.
Thanks, Bobby.
That's cool, man. Thank you.
I actually was thinking about this next question today quite a bit. Like, who have we got around now that's in the same vein as David Lynch? Who is making films like David Lynch now?
Nobody really. I mean, this is still sort of pertaining to the question, but not exactly. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was talking about just directors, like how so many of these guys are dying off. Like, who's going to replace all these guys that we're losing? Like, where's the next like incumbent director that is going to like hold these spots? It's kind of hard to say because, I mean, well, one thing, I mean, the scripts that are out there and the material, I mean, they go through this studio system and they want it to be a certain way. And then you have a lot of guys that are guns for hire and then they don't have a voice to say anything. And it's this whole convoluted process of the way films are made now. So I don't know. It's hard to break through the same way Lynch did just because he came at a time where you could do that. And now it seems a lot harder to do that. There's a lot more films being made now more than ever today. There's way more movies and stuff being made. So maybe there is a guy that's like that, but you probably wouldn't even know. There's so much shit out there. It's kind of hard to say on that front as well.
I think the closest guy, Mark, to me, when I think about it, the closest guy that's actually popular is Brandon Cronenberg. I think he might be like, and he's essentially doing like David Cronenberg stuff, but he's closer to Lynch than like anybody else I can think of. With maybe like, especially with Possessor, like it's hard for me to. I struggle to think of anybody else. The Lighthouse was kind of like a Lynchian kind of film, like Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse. Like that was very much like it reminded me of a film like that, but like I don't know. There's not many.
Yeah, it just that's the sad answer. It's probably nobody. I don't think anybody's going to replace these guys. Like a lot of these are once in a generational talents, and we won't get them again. So we just have to enjoy the work that they left behind.
Isabella Rossellini, I have a sickness. Hold me. How about the Duchovny as Denise? You remember that?
Oh,
shit?
Yeah, I do. Can't forget that.
We can't talk about that anymore because this is like, we're in a different era. We're not allowed to talk about it. The dinner scene in Eraserhead, definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think mine would be the diner scene in Mulholland Drive where he's talking about the nightmare that he had and everything. For some reason, that's like that always stuck with me as some sort of just like it's just a core memory of mine now.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's see. Shit. See, this is what I thought. I thought, okay, there's dudes doing shit like Skinamarink that are like, I feel like that they maybe like watched half of a David Lynch film and we're like, okay, I'm gonna go make a movie now. I'm just like, let's get some Legos, a couple kids, let's make this happen. It's that easy.
Right.
No.
Exactly. That's right. Fuck Skinamarink. Or the director that made the other movie, the Outwaters.
Yeah, I mean that's another one that's like absolutely stupid, but has that crazy surrealistic kind of style to it.
Yeah, Ryan is right. I mean, that's basically what I was saying. It's hard to fill these shoes. These guys come along once in a generation.
Yeah.
Oh. Lynch being on the Cleveland show always made me laugh. Yeah, that's what I was saying like really early on. We wouldn't have X-Files without it. Quoting George Jones, who's going to fill their shoes? I was thinking about this today. So we've lost now Romero, we've lost Lynch, we've lost Craven, we've lost Hooper. Once Carpenter and Cronenberg go, that's pretty much it, man. Like that's the end of a generation of filmmakers, basically, that like inspired, a certain type of film. I don't know, like, I don't think Carpenter will ever make another film anyway, but I don't know what you do. Like, you don't replace those people. Like, it's over with, really.
Yeah.
Making a Wolfman movie.
Yeah, apparently that movie shit the bed too, from what I can understand.
It sounds like from people. He's wolfier this time.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you can fucking shoot him right in the head right now. That'd be fine. If you want to.
Michael Mann.
When we lose, we haven't lost anything really. Oh, Michael Mann. Anyway, moving on. So yeah. What a career that the guy had. Rest in peace, David Lynch.
Yeah, rest in peace.
I don't think anybody will ever like replace that guy, so I don't think it matters.
No.
Right.
So yeah, just throw whatever questions if you want it out there. We'll talk about it. Can be related to anything.
I was gonna bring this up, but I wanted to get to Lynch first, just
Okay.
out of respect for the man.
Of course.
But Matthew Black talks about. I saw Gremlins 3 announced as well as Goonies 2 in development. Why? What the hell's going on? Like
Money.
Money, 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 money.
Mark, you did see how much Beetlejuice 2 made, right? You did see
it
that.
shouldn't have made that though. Movie Ghostbusters.
You saw how
3
much
and 4
you saw how much Alien Romulus made, right?
Yeah, I know. Just
So your question is,
Goonies
can we leave anything alone? Can we just
No. Here's my prediction for Goonies 2. All right. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to have a whole new batch of shit ass kids that are going to suck. And then they're going to bring in the older kids and just have them do like little cameo sequences, like all throughout the movie. The kids from the original movie, the actors now from the original movie, they're going to come back in so that us people from the 80s can feel that warm nostalgia feeling that they think we all need to feel. And the movie will suck ass. And the same thing goes for Gremlins. But I bet Zach Galligan's shitting his pants right now to get in on that paycheck. He'll finally be able to pay the rent, that old piece of trash.
He's gonna come in with the gun belt and take care of some
Big killer, yeah. I'll be honest with you, I would go see that movie just to laugh at it if that was the plot. Like if he's like the Jamie Lee Curtis role.
Oh, it's going to be.
He's living in a basement somewhere, like all depressed about the Gremlins and what they did. And they come and get him, and he straps on a shotgun, takes them out.
Yeah. We'll see in the next coming months about who's going to direct or any of that. Not that I truly care, but I'd be interested to see what Joe Dante thinks, or if he's actually joining up again for that. He's going to be at a con I'm going to. So I'm going to ask him all about it, see what he
got
thinks.
to, yeah.
This Gremlins 3 craziness. Like, just the ship has sailed on all that stuff, man.
Hollywood machine is definitely broken, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's become like so predictable now. You know exactly what kind of film is going to be. Somebody on one of those YouTube videos that I did was like, you can't judge a movie until you watch it. And I was like, yeah, you actually can now. That's the funny thing. You can know exactly basically what the movie's going to be like before you watch it, because they're all exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I can, with about a 90% to 95% degree of certainty, like tell you when they announce a franchise film nowadays, it's going to suck ass. Like I don't have to see it. I promise.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure what you said is going to happen. It'll be a new group of kids. They go on some adventure to save whatever. And you'll have the previous actors coming back.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have the cameos. They'll reluctantly get involved in the adventure somehow.
I'll bet you $1 million right now that Jenna Ortega will be in that fucking movie somehow.
Oh man.
And she will work her way into that movie. I don't know what character she'll play, but she will be in it. I guarantee it.
Yeah. It's very possible.
Goonies too.
Or she'll be Phoebe Cates' daughter in Gremlins 3.
Yeah. She'll be in all of them. Fuck it. They'll put her in every one of them. Goonies 2 budget will be like 200 million, probably.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Joe Dante is going to be asked so much about Gremlins 3 at cons now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go full horror with Gizmo turning evil. They're not going to do anything like that. I can guarantee it.
No, I mean,
No, it'll be Gizmo's kids, and he'll have the shotgun. It'll be a little baby Gizmo
Yeah.
with a shotgun.
and the
He
gun.
did
A
the
daughter.
Rambo thing in part 2.
That's right, he did.
So Gizmo has a daughter, and she has the shotgun belt. She gotta go after.
Wait until Sloth and Chunk are married and drive a brand new Subaru Forest. That's it. Oh. Yeah, that's another one too that's coming out in it. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
Out.
It is. And it's the same thing from what I've heard. It's a whole new cast, and they have the legacy characters in it.
This
Same
is so
thing.
killer. Why is that? Jenna, it's going to be the female gremlin. Oh, God. What will be worse? Goonies 2 or the latest Corey Feldman CD? Yeah.
He'll do a song for it, probably.
Probably. See you, Sent. Seriously, what do you think would be a worse movie if you had to pick, just knowing what you know about those two movies, Goonies or The Gremlins?
Goonies too. Because I think it'll just be kind of like Ghostbusters Afterlife. It'll be almost the same movie where either one of the old have died or something has happened and they all get back together and then they go on an adventure and then they do the same thing as the first movie and 50 Easter eggs or do you remember this? Nostalgia berries.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
I mean, just imagine like Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire or Afterlife. Just imagine that movie and just superimpose it on Goonies, and that's what that movie's going to be like. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
I agree, though. I think Goonies will be worse. It's a lot easier to fuck that movie up because it's a lot more complicated of a movie to get right, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there first day when that movie comes out. Just me.
Mhm. You guys going to do a part 2 to that show, Winter Horror, maybe next winter?
Yeah.
So I noticed I had to catch the replay. I can watch it live, but I saw that I was surprised. No long legs. That's Winter Horror.
I didn't even think about that. There's a lot of them that people put in the chat that I didn't even think about too, though. So it's like that could definitely be like a series of shows.
Innocent Blood. That's a Landis
Innocent
one.
Blood's a great one too.
It's
Yeah.
a Winter Horror.
I was surprised you didn't hate Frozen because I figured it's Adam Green. Which I like that movie, Frozen.
Me too, but
every like cell in my body wants to
He
hate
wanted
that
to.
movie, but like it's his best movie by far.
I agree. I like that movie.
That's so true, Elijah. Kids don't go outside there. How are they going to make a believable Goonies movie where the kids go on a quest? It'll be a video game in the movie. That's very true. Goonies 2, Sloth's Revenge, where he kills the human cast, including Corey Feldman.
Chose a 80s wilderness slasher.
That'd be awesome. Be like Ritual. Let's see.
In A Violent Nature 2, Goonies always die.
Goonies 2 will just be Goonies 2 will just be depressing. Gremlins 3 will end up being derivative as fucking forgettable.
Mhm.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't do anything anymore without dressing up as Michael Jackson, it seems.
That's his gimmick.
What a gimmick, too, if you think about it. Like, mm,
It's working. I mean, he's selling out those shows apparently.
Says who? Him?
he really
Dave
has
Harris said he did. Like one of the ones he went to, it was.
he really has made a career now out of being a train wreck. And people just go to watch the train wreck. Like
I think that's why. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
it's kind of genius. Like he didn't have any other choice and kind of stumbled upon that, and it worked.
Mhm.
You know what I can see working? A Police Academy reboot. Have the Goot come back as Mahoney being the new Academy. So I could totally see that working too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Problem Child 4. Yeah. I can see them bringing that back actually. Revenge of the Fratellis. You can't do a Fratellis like without Anne Ramsey. That's just not gonna work. Like she was the
Yeah.
key to that whole thing.
Jenna Ortega with makeup.
I'm wondering though, because Sloth is the most famous character in that movie, right? How the fuck are they going to do anything like that now? Like they're not going to do that now in the climate that things are in Hollywood. Like they're not going to have a, I can't even say the word, but they're not going to have
Yeah, I
a
don't know how you get
character
away
like
with that.
that. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Let's see. Rather stick with B movies of the 80s compared to nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah.
CGI ghost sloth. I can see them doing that.
Oh my god.
Amy Schumer can play sloth.
Oh my god.
Oh God. I really hate her.
Yeah.
Does anybody not at this point? I mean, Lord.
Not
Did anybody
I
ever
just
like,
never saw the appeal of her comedy. Like,
No.
It just never did anything for me. But I could say that about quite a few female comedians.
Oh God. For some reason this just makes me sad. Hey Matt, Bill, and Mark, rest in peace, David Lynch. Question for you guys. Did you ever like The Walking Dead? Remember that show? This makes me so sad. Because at one time or another, I really did like The Walking Dead.
Hmm.
And then they completely butt fucked that show to the 7th layer of hell. And it never returned. So,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of really good theories about what happened to that show, but the one that I believe is when they started like having different episodes focused on different people in the group, like whole episodes would be focused just on like 2 people. And then the next episode, you get another 2 people and they'd focus a whole episode on that. When they started doing that shit, people just got bored and fucking it just died. And it
Yeah,
didn't actually die because there's 57 spinoffs of it that are still fucking going on, actually.
exactly. I mean, I never got into it the same way everybody else did. I thought it was cool that they were doing it when it started. I liked some of the stuff I saw. I don't hate the show. It just, I'm not the mega fan of it that everybody else is. I do appreciate the effects and stuff. The stuff Nicotero did in it was really, really cool.
Yeah,
I think he might have directed some of them too.
he did. Yeah.
Yeah, like on those aspects, like I like it for that, but it's it's fine. It completely ran off the rails, like you were saying. I mean, I think everybody knows that by now, but it could have benefited from having more of a Darabont's involvement. He was
He
originally
left after the first. By the way, the first season is the best season, and the season with the governor, which I think was the third or fourth season, I can't remember which, but like that season was amazing too. But like, yeah, like the first season to me was just like one of the best things, one of the best horror based show seasons ever.
Mm.
And then it just started to fall apart. The wheels just started falling off. By the way, if it did any one thing too that pisses me off still this day is it ruined conventions. So for that reason alone, I can't really like that show as much.
You didn't like the guy that was in the ditch, the mud zombie or whatever, like charging $50 for the guy.
There was a period. I'm not kidding around when I tell you there was a period of time when the chick from season 1 who was like the zombie crawling towards him like it was like a half zombie, and the little girl showed up at like Pikeville, Kentucky, and we're signing autographs for like $30 or $40. And it was like that's where that show got to, where people like that were like zombie number 12 in one episode was charging like $30 for an autograph.
Yep. It just fucked it all up.
Oh, God.
But yeah, that show got too big for its own good.
Hold on, we got a super chat here. I didn't see it. Would you say Leslie Jones is a hack of an actress? Yes, I would.
Hell yes. I mean, she's just loud and an annoying bitch.
Same way I feel about what's that chick? Aquafina.
Oh my God, dude!
Can't
what
stand
movie
Aquafina.
with her in it that where she ruined the entire movie?
Renfield.
I was
Yeah,
gonna- I was gonna say every movie she's in, but yeah,
that's true. That's very true. But that one for certain, yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
I'll tell you another one too that I always thought was a hack, and like I still do, is Melissa McCarthy. Like I can't stand
Oh yeah,
any of that shit. Ridiculous.
yeah.
And Leslie Jones, she's just the big, loud black lady. That's it, you know. That's what she plays. Coming to America 2, Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Was she in that? Like I watched that movie one time, and I think I just completely blanked the whole movie out of my.
Which
fucking
one?
memory.
Coming to America 2?
Coming to America 2, yeah.
She raped him.
She's the one that did it to Eddie Murphy when he was, and she drugged him, and that was funny. That you drug a guy and then get pregnant because of it.
Yeah,
it's fine if you do that to a guy. That's funny.
It's fine.
And Leslie Jones of all people too. Like that's even worse.
right.
Like, at least have someone good looking do it to you. Not some fat bitch. Ugly fat bitch.
He's trying to alienate every group right now.
She's ugly, she's fat, and she's a bitch. Like this is not news. Is she ugly? Yes. Is she fat? Yes. Is she a bitch? Yes. All three are true. And does anyone in the chat disagree? Does anyone in the chat disagree with that statement?
Oh, it's like a checklist.
Exactly. Hollywood checklist. Are you fat? Yes. Are you a bitch? Yes. Are you ugly? Yes. Okay, you're hired. You're hired.
Oh fuck.
2 franchises and horrible movies, in my opinion.
I think we'll get syndicated in this show one day.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh God.
I wouldn't touch it with someone else's dick. Let alone my own.
They probably will remake this movie too at some point. The Great Outdoors.
Yeah, we'll have
No, this is not true, Don Omega. It's just called KFC now though, because for some reason you can't put Kentucky in there. I still don't understand why not, but
just they're racist against Kentuckians.
right. I don't like Appalachians.
Judge them.
Judgmental fuckers. Oh, sure, you'll have every fucking other like culture of people, but when it comes to like Appalachian Southern people, you just make fun of them all fucking day long, can't you? But you fucking pricks. I'm offended.
So am I.
It's a killer name for a movie. Honey, I Shrunk My Dick.
Starring Leslie Jones.
Oh shit.
God.
Mark, am I
Oh.
wrong?
No, I mean, that's why I didn't jump in. I agree.
There you go.
Oh man, did anybody watch this yet? I don't know if you guys are into this or not.
I liked the
new-
first season. I haven't seen the new one, but I liked the first one.
Haven't watched it yet.
I watched the whole thing. I thought it was good. Like
Mm.
some people are complaining. I think that's just across the board. Some people are going to be complaining about anything, but like I thought it was really good. I mean, for a sequel to something like you expect a little bit of a fall off, after something has got that hugely popular. So
Mhm.
it was fine.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
My favorite horse show is Millennium, which doesn't get enough recognition today and still holds up along with X-Files. Done another reboot that's diverse, which makes me angry. I am a fan.
Yeah, I love Millennium,
Yeah,
especially that first season. It's one of my favorites.
Oh God, what was that movie with John Cena and Aquafina?
yeah, he was right. It was Jackpot.
Jackpot.
Mm. Okay.
Well, Robot House, you get the fuck out of here now. I do like Knoxville, Tennessee, though.
I'll tell you, been there.
Yeah,
Right.
I've been through there a bunch of times.
Cool.
I think isn't Knoxville too where they have that horror convention? Shit, I forget the name of it now. It's the one that got. I'm pretty sure it's the one that got all that shit with
CreepyCon.
CreepyCon. Yeah, with
Mm.
Well, I can't bring that up. I'll probably get sued if I bring it up. Never mind. Nothing happened at that show that was odd.
Yeah, now I'm curious.
I've been lucky not to see Leslie Jones in any movie.
You're lucky. I'll just say that.
I'll mention real quick. A trailer that made me mad, and Mark, you may relate to this because you might have played the game, the Until Dawn trailer, which is nothing like the game.
Mm.
Because the game is like you think it's going to be a slasher film, then becomes a monster movie. Now it's a group of people, and they ripped off Happy Death Day, where they're just killed, and then they bring back, and then they're killed again. So it's nothing like the source material. And
Why didn't they just do that though? Like, it's already there. Like, why not just who's doing that? Is that another Blumhouse fuck up or what?
well, the game is literally a movie in itself, so that's why you didn't have to do it in the first place. Like, even if you watch on YouTube, it plays like a movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you were going to do it, like, and they acquired the property, like, why not just do that? Because there probably are some that don't get into games or don't like games. I could see it working, but not necessary. But like, why the fuck just do that? Like, make some new shitty thing. That's weird.
It's Screen Gems and then the newly formed PlayStation Studios.
Oh, okay. Oh shit. Well, that explains it all. Okay. No shit.
The guy
So-
directed Shazam is directed it because that he knows horror.
Mhm.
Shazam.
Real quick, I just want to bring up a comment. The
Sure.
leftover from last night, the Asian guy from Hellraiser's back. He just wants to know what our thoughts on Rah Rah Randy. That's so fucking wrong. Oh, that's killed me. That guy, whoever's doing that guy's amazing. Yeah, Gatlinburg and Kingsport has they both have conventions. Gatlinburg has the one that all the people from Halloween Town always show up to. And Kingsport, I'm not sure about, but yeah. Kingsport might have been the one I was thinking of, actually. I don't know, though. I can't remember. Anyway, let's just say some shady stuff happened with the people taking the photographs and the celebrity photo ops at that show, and that shady stuff that happened also was connected in a roundabout way to us.
Mm.
Take care, man.
Good night, Davian.
Good night, Damien.
Let's not talk. The less we talk about the all-female Ghostbusters movie, probably the better.
Oh, okay, the guy who was doing Until Dawn also directed Lights Out and Annabelle Creation. So that's how he got it. I'm just trying, like, one's coming out. There's that wrestling one with Chris Jericho, I think. Dark match.
You know what?
Did Wolf Cop.
You know what, man? Jericho's got fucking Benoit heat at this point with me. Like, I just fucking
That's pretty big. Geez.
it's the worst type of heat you can have. It's like a level above X-Pac heat. Like, I just never want to see Jericho again. I don't care. I want him to go away. I want him to retire and just fucking just go away.
Was there a moment that made you click with that, or just
all of the moments he's had in AEW have led me to this path that I'm on right now?
Was his battle with the bank addicted drug robber and all the other matches he has?
He's just one of those guys. He literally has become the thing he used to bitch about. So he's the bloated, over, talent that's like holding other people down and just like going into business for himself all the time. He's Goldberg now, basically. He's the fucking guy that he always bitched about in WCW, which is hilarious because like he won't go away. Like everybody wants him to go away. He's like Paul White. Like nobody wants to see that motherfucker wrestle anymore, but he will not go away. Like
so if that contract, man, he's making all that money from Tony Khan.
If you have to pick, what were the two worst things you saw him do in AEW that you saw, you heard, like the two worst things that like come to mind?
If I had to pick two of the worst things he did in AEW.
Sure.
I know one, and I stopped watching AEW. I was watching it for a little while there. And every now and again, maybe I'll check out a match. If I see something advertised somewhere, I'll check out because they do have some talented guys over there. But the Orange Cassidy, when he fell in the orange juice or whatever, and I'm like, how the fuck is that like even part of a match? You got giant vats of orange juice for people to fall in.
I think the one that got me too was the fucking hardcore match he had. I'm trying to remember like who the fuck it was even with. That was a couple years back, and he had that with all of the stupid hardcore gimmicks and shit, like the thumbtacks and all that.
Is that the one with the pizza cutter? Or is that a different one?
That was a different one, I think.
Maybe that's Moxley.
That was Moxley, yeah.
He always has pizza cutters and all sorts of stupid stuff. It's like he's got to bleed and mutilate himself every match, and no one remembers it.
Also all of the factions that he's come up with, and like nobody remembers any of that shit now. As a matter of fact, like I can't even remember all of them.
Right.
I don't watch AEW either. Like, and haven't watched it for probably the last 2 years. I just think that shit's.
Yeah, didn't their show get canceled? The second show,
I hope so.
Rampage. I think Rampage got canceled. Yeah, like it's not even on anymore. So.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, Jericho was with Nick Gage.
That's it.
Oh,
it was a pizza cutter because then
Domino's. They had a Domino's commercial came on right
after it. And the Domino's got mad and it's like, wait a minute, What are you putting out commercials with? A guy shaving a guy with a pizza cutter. And then here's some pizza. Order.
Enjoy this fucking Domino's pizza while he
That's
cuts his
cool.
head open.
That's so funny.
This is I think this is a gimmick. This is the movie to get Rock actual acting credit because everybody knows he sucks. And like, I don't know how this movie's going to do, but I don't like anything the Rock's been in, so I don't have any hope for this movie. Like, they can put as much prosthetics and shit on him as they want to, but he's still a big roided up idiot. He's great at cutting a promo though. God bless him. He buried Cody, so
I don't know. I mean, I like the makeup job that I saw from it, but I don't know. It's still The Rock though, so we'll see.
yeah, I mean, you can't put lipstick on a pig. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't. It's still a pig. Mark, what do you think of I Spice? And can you get Uncle Bill to do a live reaction to one of her songs? The fuck kind of question is that?
Why would I know Ice Spice? I mean, I know who she is, but like, I don't like her music. I'm not a fan. Yeah. I don't give a fuck about Ice Spice.
I always see these people like there's Ice Spice, then there's Glorilla or something like that. Or
Oh man.
I see these people and I'm just like, where the fuck are these people coming from? Like, how they get famous all of a
They
sudden?
make terrible fucking music, and the younger generation likes. I'm sure some in my age range like it too, but I could give a fuck about any of that stuff. I don't think it sounds good. So
That's true, Just Drops. I completely agree with this. Like, The Rock was supposed to be the next Arnold. Not even close.
no, not at all. I mean, it shows that you needed a lot more than just a bunch of fucking muscles and just some big roided up guy running around.
This comment's killer for some reason, Bradley. Bradley Taylor says, I'll take Phil Collins singing in a wheelchair. Really rock zombie music. Damn. That is great. Jason Statham is the only guy carrying action movies right now. I can think of a couple people. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I think that Denzel carried it there for a while with those Equalizer movies. I really do. I really like those movies, and those movies were really, really popular, made a ton of money, and like I feel like him, Statham, and Keanu with the John Wick franchise kind of carried action movies there for years. I don't know who the fuck is now at this point, but
yeah, I mean, the trailer for the new one that's coming out with Statham looks pretty entertaining. Me and Matt talked about it like at the beginning of last year. I don't even know if they were shooting it yet at the time. You probably don't remember this, Matt, but I know you had your reservations for it because Stallone was writing it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I said I was hopeful just because it was Air again, and I think he can turn out some pretty entertaining movies.
Yeah.
And it actually does look fun. I mean, it looks more or less like The Beekeeper in a way, but still, I mean,
yeah.
Shit, I mean, that's all we got, like, when it comes to, like, mainstream, theatrical action stuff, so fuck it. It might be entertaining. I'll take it.
Nobody mentioned this guy's name in here to me.
Yeah, that's the next watch along, the new Mission Impossible.
Please. Let's see.
Well, I know I was going to say, I know that the new ambassadors for Hollywood is going to be like Stallone, John Voight, and Mel Gibson.
What?
Donald Trump hired like these three are going to be the new ambassadors of Hollywood. Is going to be Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson and John Voight. I'm like, please do. I love it. Mel is crazy enough.
Uh-huh.
It's sly, and John Voight's crazy enough.
You
And
might as well
Fucking-
get Gary
you know,
Busey.
shake something up. Shake something up. Please shake it up.
The Hollywood Task Force, yeah. I get the other two in a Trumpian way, but who gives a fuck about John Boyd? Like, who even like fucking cares about John Boyd anymore?
Deliverance. I don't know.
Oh, UB, you got your orders in, right?
Dude, I got
Yes.
a metric shit ton of stuff in the past week from Arrow and Vinegar Syndrome and Kino. It all came at one time. Like,
Nice.
I don't
Care
know
to
why.
do an unboxing?
I've already unboxed it, but I can show you what
okay.
I got.
Yeah, I still got my stuff in boxes right here. So I was just
Yeah.
thinking about that for the end of the show.
So this one we got sent, which was a goddamn miracle.
Nice.
This was sent from Scream Factory. This is the 4K Silent Night, Deadly Night. Just because Wes had actually requested it because they used our interview. You probably won't be able to see it, but if you look on it, if you own this disc in the extra features, like they used our interview with Chuck Sellier from the extended version, the uncut version, on here as one of the extras. So they sent us like the screener, or not, it's not screener, it's the regular copy, but you know what I mean.
Nice.
I have mixed feelings about that movie because we got sued over that movie, so I can't really love it anymore.
Mm,
Cherry 2000 with Melanie Griffith
nice.
from Kino. That's a screener for us to review. I'm gonna do something a little bit different with these two. I've watched a ton of these. I'm gonna tell you what my opinion is on them rather than just like fucking showing them all. I have not watched this one yet. I just got this tonight.
Okay.
Nice.
I watched this earlier today and really liked it. This is Untold Story 2.
Oh,
Okay.
The new one from Vinegar Syndrome. It's cool how the eyes are kind of embossed. When you turn towards the light, they kind of light up. This is actually really good. It has nothing to do with the original Untold Story whatsoever, but it's more like a Fatal Attraction kind of movie, but with a lot of gore and a lot of like intense like nudity and a lot of killer Asian stuff, basically. I highly recommend that.
Yeah, I have that one. That's a good one.
Then I got. Let me put this in this. What is this one? Shit, this is one that we got in to review.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I've tried to watch it already once, so we'll see. Because now I've got to watch it.
You've seen the first one, right?
Yeah, I saw the whole thing.
Okay. Not a
The
fan.
Well, the ending, man, I was okay. And then the ending hit, and I was like, nope, I'm checking right the fuck out of this movie.
I don't see it changing with that one. Your beta.
Okay, so there's this guy called Alexander Nevsky. I think he's going to be one of the best actors in the century. Matt will agree.
He's the
Apparently,
worst.
Matt doesn't agree.
He's a Russian guy that somehow finances his own movies, and he gets people like Don the Dragon Wilson and Cynthia Rothrock, who are old as hell, to get into his movies, and they're done on the cheap. And he desperately wants to be Arnold. He like copies Arnold, and he can't act, and he's garbage, fucking garbage. Fuck that guy. Thank you, Hopium.
I wanted to get that Cherry 2000. Got onto it, so good.
Nice.
Man, this is lame. The first 15 minutes, then what? I don't know what you're talking about, Danny. If you're talking about a film or if you're talking about this show. Did you know Gunnar Hansen was in Replicator? No, I did not. Oh, anyway. This is one I'm a mark for this movie. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Kino did with the 4K.
Very cool.
Kind of a divisive movie amongst people that like slasher films. Always loved it since I was a kid. So,
Same here. I'm a big fan of that one.
yep.
Much better cover than the Scream Factory.
Watched this one 2 nights ago, and it holds up really well just because of one thing, and that's Vincent D'Onofrio.
Very cool.
I've got that in as well.
What a batshit crazy movie this is,
Yeah.
man. Like, but it's great, and his performance is great. Just amazing.
I agree.
Very cool visuals.
That's the Arrow one that I got in, and then I bought these. I didn't fucking get sent these. I wish. Mark.
Oh yeah. Gotta have that one. Simple Plan is.
If you don't, I'm gonna tell you all this, all 180 of you all that are watching right now. If you don't own this movie and you've never seen this movie or anything, any of the above, like buy this fucking movie now. It doesn't matter what you're into. If you're just into film, like in movies, you will like this movie. There's no way you can't like this movie. It's amazing.
I agree. Might be Raimi's best.
Let's see. Replicator. Freddie Lit says, have you heard of the news where the French lady gave almost $1 million to a fake Brad Pitt, only to realize that the real Pitt is in a relationship?
No,
No.
that's amazing.
So, woman who lost $850,000 to scammers posing as Brad Pitt and then faces online harassment and mockery. So, it's not bad enough she got $850,000 stolen now. People will be making fun of her too.
Forever.
That's so funny.
It's a sad day. All right.
Don't worry, lady. I thought someone was Halle Berry, and then I grew a brain and realized it wasn't Halle Berry. So, stuff doesn't happen to people.
Did you lose any money?
No.
Good.
That's good. That's a good move. Women on the Run, which is a Cat 3 film. It's okay. It's not anything that'll blow your skirt off or anything like that. I was kind of disappointed in that one.
Oh man, okay. I was hoping that one would be.
No, it's not as good as you think, and neither is this one. Righting Wrongs. I liked this movie when I first watched it, but for some reason I went back and watched this Vinegar Syndrome version of it. The best part of this movie is Cynthia Rothrock, and that's no shit. I don't know, like, if that was because of the way it was edited, if they were kind of like featuring her as the star or whatever, but like the other parts of the film are not, the action scenes are not great. But when she comes into it, it's like everything kicks up a notch. I don't know what the story is behind that, but she's great in this. This is, I believe, the Golden Harvest era of like when she was making film.
Does that have both endings? I think, from what I understand, that has like two
so.
different endings.
Yeah, because when I was watching it, I remember there was like two different options. So you've got, I can't read anymore because I'm old. The original 96-minute Hong Kong cut, and then you've got, there's another fucking cut on here. I know there is.
Yeah, just
the 100-minute Chinese cut with a Mandarin language track. And then disc 2 contains the extended and vastly different 100-minute cut that they're talking about. And disc 3 is an actual, I need to watch disc 3. Disc 3 is the best of martial arts, a 91-minute documentary from 1990 hosted by John Saxon and including Cynthia Rothrock, Karen Shepard, Jackie Chan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bruce Lee, and many more. So,
nice.
Cool. I didn't even know that.
Neat.
So there you go, Bills. And most importantly, it's actually got a fucking English audio track on it. I can't stand when they don't put that on there. Let's see here. China O'Brien After that, I don't care if Corey Haim or Corey Feldman, the Corys couldn't save the story.
You mean Fast Getaway?
Fast Getaway is what he's got to be talking about. Yeah,
Hmm.
I really
Yeah.
like Fast Getaway.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I had fun with it. She's not in it. I've probably only seen the first one. I know Cynthia not in it a whole lot. It's more about the father son, Leo Rossi, I believe. Yeah, I remember not minding it.
Let's see. Let's see. Hopium says, Matt, didn't Samuel Beard trash you back in the day for hating a Nightmare on Elm Street, or was that the director of The Thing?
Okay, well, long story short, way back in YouTube, the trailer for the Thing prequel was coming out, and I said something, and then I did something with my friends where we just talked shit about it because it looked awful. And then a guy who said he was the writer, he was like getting mad and pissy about it. And I said, fuck you. I think the film looks like shit. And then I was right. It was shit. So
You were correct.
I was correct. So
It turns out.
So either it was him and he was really bored, or it's someone who was really bored pretending to be some writer no one knows. So either way, it's pretty. It's like the guy that got mad at me, he was trying to do a 9/11 movie with zombies, and I said that's a stupid idea. Then he got pissed, and then his movie was never made.
Yeah.
I'm like, gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I don't even think
Great
Trauma
idea.
would make that movie.
I think that Full Moon would.
I was
That'd
going
be
to
the
say
only-
that. That's crazy. I was just about to say it's probably Full Moon.
Freddie Lit says, rest in peace, David Lynch. Also, which cut of Dawn of the Dead, the original, is your favorite?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, my thing with that movie is that I think that Romero's strongest suit was always his editing. And I think the theatrical cut's the best version of the movie. I hate the European cut. It fucking takes out everything that makes it like a
Mhm.
good story and just adds in a bunch of stupid shit and music and stuff that doesn't belong. I don't think the extended cut adds anything to it. When I see those scenes, maybe it's just where I've watched the movie so many times. When I see the scenes that were like added, that they just seem out of place to me, and I can't watch it. Like, so
Yeah.
I just go with the theatrical cut.
For me, someone had done a fan cut where they call it, and you can find it on YouTube. It's called the extended mall hours cut.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So they added like the extended, and then all the stuff that was only in the European, they added that stuff as well. So it's all put together. And I know there's one someone did like a 4K upscale version on YouTube. And because it's the longest version, I like seeing everything. Because that's one of my favorite films ever. So I love seeing any type of footage with it. So I just watch it because I like watch all of it. Like you have the European, which has a little bit more gore, so that's added in. But then I like some of the character stuff. Like seeing Joe Pilato, who was in the extended cut. It was cool to see him in it. So
Mhm.
I'm the Mole Hours cut, the fan cut that's on YouTube. That'd be my favorite cut.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one just the once. I never watched the European cut. Probably the extended one is the one that I go back to the most. But I do like the theatrical as well. It's pretty fun. I mean, it's got it hits all the beats. I mean, it's got everything you need in it. So, but yeah, extended cut is probably the one I watch the most.
Yes, the European cut is the Argento cut
Mm-hmm.
because they gave him the rights to do whatever he wanted with it in Italy and Europe. The people making the Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse horror movie would probably make it. I haven't said, yeah, that's probably true, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go through a couple more here real quick. Yes, I finally got this in because Barnes and Noble had a 50% off sale. I got this son of a bitch for like $29. The Demolition Man.
Great.
Yep.
Nice.
And I watched it, and it holds up like a son of a bitch. It's a great movie, man. Still to this
Fuck yeah.
day.
Love
Wesley
that.
Snipes is so much better in this movie than I remembered him being that it's
Yeah.
insane.
It's fucking amazing.
Sandra Bullock's actually great in it too, and Stallone's great. So is oddly enough Dennis Leary. Like I don't ever really like him in shit, but he's pretty good in this movie too.
He's great. Yeah.
Great movie.
You know what else? I know you like this movie too, but Judgment Night was just on.
Yeah, I love
He's-
Judgment Night.
He steals it in Judgment Night. Dennis Leary is so great in Judgment Night.
He's perfect in that role. He plays a great heel. They should have had him
Yeah.
do more movies like that. Like
Yeah.
instead of trying to be like the comic, hero friend guy or whatever.
Right.
This is that fucking Vinegar Syndrome Jeff Speakman movie where they wanted you to draw your own slip cover. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
Now, is that something you'll watch and draw on, or you...
I'll watch it, yeah, because like I've never seen it, and I guess I'm kind of curious why I spent $20 on something I have no idea about.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll draw on it or not, though. I'm not a very good artist. I can't show the back of this for 100% certain, but this is Delirium, which is a great Bava film that nobody knew about and still.
It's in my top 3 Bava movies. Love it. I'm pretty sure it's in one of these boxes that I have right here. Yeah, I fucking love Delirium. It's awesome.
No, I did not get Crack House, but I probably will, if I'm being honest.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely getting Crack House. I
can't even
wait for it to go down.
Yeah, it'll go down. Don't worry. I can't even show any of this cover or the back or the front of this because it's like covered in nudity. But Horrible High Heels from Massacre Video, which is an Asian Cat 3 movie I got. So
Okay.
I haven't watched that one yet. Everybody kept going on and bitching about this movie, so I went ahead and bought it just so I can see what the big deal is.
Oh
The
yeah.
Coffee Table. Haven't seen it. Have no idea yet. Haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I will.
Yeah, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. It hinges on like one premise of where a tragedy happens and you're sort of left to go through the guilt trip and all the hallucinations and all the stuff that this one character, central character, is like experiencing the whole movie. And yeah, there's a tiny bit of comedy in there, but not in the way you think. You can't really say what happens without giving the thing away because it's like the main thing. It's the only real full-on graphic violence in the movie. Is like the main point of the film. But, there's other violence in it, but it's not as graphic as that.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it because everybody's talking about it. So that's just one that I haven't seen.
Yeah, I did that. I think the reviews on the Dead Pit channel. I did that last year sometime when Second Sight was putting it out. So yeah, it's a solid flick, but I don't know about replay value. That's the main thing for me. That's why I didn't buy it. I like the movie, but I don't know how many times I'd ever rewatch it.
And finally, the one everybody's been waiting on, and I am waiting on to watch this because we're going to do a big review on it over on the show.
Another one for the Michael Mann collection.
Let me tell you something about this. If this sucks, I'm going to be the first motherfucker to tell you that it sucks, like in great detail. I'm going to write down everything about it because I've yet to see it. We'll see. Look, it comes with the book.
I do like that movie, but I just don't see you liking it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I mean, given the way you feel about his other films, I don't think you'd like that
I
one.
don't know.
We'll find out because, like, I'm going in completely blind on that one. I've never seen it, nor have I ever really heard anybody talk about it up until recently. But that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I got in. Ugh.
So, I got these right here. These two right here. And I was going to do like the see anything you like thing, but I think I'll fuck something up and drop them. So I'm not gonna make that joke. But yeah, I need a knife. I don't have anything to open this shit with. And they wrapped it over like 20 times. It's like it's the regular vinegar syndrome tape. Then they put clear tape over that. So
damn, they really don't want them.
And before you do that, Hopium sent in another super chat. Thank you, Hopium.
Yeah, hold on one sec. Let's see. Did you guys know there's 2 fucking Predator movies coming out this year? No, I did not know that.
Yeah, Sally. One of them's the guy who did Prey, so it's going to be the same 80-pound girl doing parkour on a Predator. Only it'll probably be in the West, so she'll have a cowboy hat on this time. Doing parkour in the West. Mark's favorite movie.
Oh, fuck that.
He's sexist. That's why.
That's what it is.
That's the reason. Yeah. He didn't show any skin.
They need to stop making those movies, but they won't.
That
a
and
lot of
Alien.
stuff.
Yeah, just stop.
Romulus was great, Mark.
There's a bunch of movies they need to quit making. Any kind of Child's Play movie, any kind of Hellraiser movie, any Chucky movie, any Alien movie, any fucking Scream movie. They need to stop all of them.
That'd be nice.
What the fuck is this?
That's not good. That's never a good sign.
It just, I mean, they just threw it in the box. There's no paper, there's no plastic, no nothing.
They're trying to hurry, Mark. They're busy.
I see. Just fucking threw it in the box, and it's literally like just this, just in a ball. But this was the gift that I got for Christmas. Again, it takes fucking forever. Here it is a month later.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's I don't even know what the fuck this is. Like I guess it's just a VS hoodie. It's not a movie. It's just, okay, there's a big thing on the back. So we'll flip the hood over and turn it around. Jeez. It's a huge size. So
That's pretty badass. I'll give you that.
yeah, it is pretty cool. Yeah, so that was a gift from my girlfriend. I told her don't ever buy like a Christmas. If you do, you got to buy it in like the summer, and then then you'll get it by Christmas.
Don't ever expect them to like ship anything. No.
Yeah, but she didn't know, so I was like, when she told me, she's like, it's something you don't have, and I'm like, what could it be? And I'm like, well, whatever it is, it's gonna take 6 months to get here. Of course, they gave me a little sticker in there, which I could give a shit about. I got enough VS stickers. Okay, so the other box is the movies. So let's try to open this one.
Quick question: did you ever get that one that took like a year you ordered ago?
Oh, yeah.
The umbrella one. Yeah, I got it.
Oh, okay.
Not all of it though. But I got half of it, yeah. So one of the ones that was held up in that order was Coffee, the Pam Grier movie.
Yeah.
And they stopped making it, but they had still taken the order from it anyway. And I wasn't the only person that happened to. So they were going to make more of them just to fulfill those orders. And after that, I think they said that was it. That was going to be the last batch. So I'm still waiting to get that. But the other stuff that was in the order, I did get.
As someone asked before, no, still have not gotten Rumpelstiltskin. That'll be another.
I did hear that was supposed to ship, but who knows that company?
I haven't gotten it either.
We'll see.
I think they put all the paper in plastic in this thing.
What?
Oh,
I didn't even remember that I bought this. This is perfect for Rambo. This one. We just watched the trailer for this movie right here with the
oh yeah,
that's awesome.
the Spanish
my
Chucky movie or whatever.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I couldn't help but not get that. Like, it's, yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Oh, and then same here. I knew Delirium was in here somewhere. So
Yep.
yeah, there's that. Which I'm still surprised that sold out. Like,
Me too. That makes zero sense to me, man. Like, because that's not a well-known movie or anything. Like,
yeah. And then a few more. This is the Forgotten Gialli set. This is volume 6. Yeah, 6. So I still want to get 7, but I haven't yet. Do you have any? You got some of these, right?
I have 3 of them. I couldn't tell you right now off the top of my head. I know I got the first one, and then after that, it's all hazy. It's like somewhere between 4 and 5.
Yeah. They, I mean, some of them are cool, some are not, but still cool to have these. I always like the hard box on the outside. They do a great job with the artwork. Yeah, this one mostly got for Bloodstained Shadow, which I think is very underrated giallo.
Which one do you like better, Mark? Just real quick, the Forgotten Gialli ones or the Arrow Gialli ones?
Probably the Arrow ones.
Yeah, in my experience has been those are a little bit better quality movies.
Yeah, I think the Forgotten Gialli one's probably been forgotten for a reason.
Yeah, a lot of them are very like forgettable.
Yeah. Yep. So this one is let's make Rambo happy. I finally got Congo. And yeah, it was worth it. I mean, I had to get it. This is badass. And how dare you rip this slip, Rambo? Come on. Look at that. This killer gorilla's on the back.
I don't want to look at it.
That's amazing. You still need to get you a copy, Uncle Bill. Got to get one. Get one before it's gone.
I definitely will really soon.
Yeah.
And I didn't even remember fucking buying this one. But I guess I did. It was probably super cheap because I know I never would have paid like $20 for this one. Maybe it was really cheap. Primal Rage, the 4K.
Oh fuck! I wanted to get that too. Actually,
I guess this had
it
to
probably
be.
was on sale. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't have paid any more than like about $10 for it. Yeah, but it is a 4K, which is nice. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Not a ton in this order. So all quality entertainment that only Vinegar Syndrome can provide.
All quality except one. Yeah, you're right, Mark. I'll let everybody forget what. Okay. Did you ever find someone around town wearing a Vinegar Syndrome shirt? It was a Vinegar Syndrome shirt that was stolen. It was a whole bunch of Vinegar Syndrome stuff. I can't remember what all. I know there was some Blu-rays in there. There was a shirt in there. There's something else in there too that was like a, I don't know, like a merch piece or something. I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, no, I've never seen anybody wear it or like anything like that. I believe there was 2 shirts that got stolen in that order.
Damn. That
Let's
sucks.
see.
Damn.
Did you have the dog at the time?
No, I didn't have the big dog at the time. No.
Okay. I was gonna say they would have died for some VS shirts.
That dog just showed up, I'd say 6-8 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, no, there'd be no way in hell those people would have tried that with that dog. No. Rathammer says the Bloodstained Shadow is great, but Naked You Die in that set isn't very good.
Yeah, man. Music in Bloodstained Shadow is really good too. I don't know if that's a Goblin score. I could be wrong. Let me see.
Not Bradley.
Yeah, it's true. If the guy stole it, he's like, "What is this shit?" Like he looks at the movies, is like, "What
That
are
was
these?"
my. This is the best part about him stealing that shit to me. Was like, I know when he opened, he thought he was getting something killer, and he's like, "What the hell's all this shit?" Like,
Italian giallo and some Hong Kong, like
you know, that guy had to be so pissed off because he had no idea what that stuff was.
Yeah.
I guess two quick pieces of news for those interested. If you like John Woo stuff, apparently Shout Factory will be working on releasing John Woo's like Hard Boiled, Bull in the Head, The Killer, things of those movies. They bought the John Woo library,
Mhm.
and they say they're
Yep.
going to be remastering them. So we'll see how they do. And if you do like any movies from Shudder, Arrow Video teamed up with them, and they're going to put some of them up for physical Shudder movies, a physical release. So
It's a
like the
very odd
sadness.
thing to me, but I'm glad Arrow's taking over that and a lot of those movies now from Shudder because some of them are actually pretty good, but most of them suck. But I mean, some of them are good.
Which ones do you look forward to if
This-
they do it?
When Evil Lurks is included in that, isn't it? Like that is that a? I
I
don't
think
know if that's a Shudder original, but I know they got it like at some
Okay.
point. And then, wasn't Revenge too a Shudder original, or were the same kind of thing? Maybe.
I can't remember. I'd have to look it up.
Anyway, both those movies ended up on Shudder at some point,
Yeah.
and not in like the way that just normal movies end up in. They were actually like Shudder products.
Mhm.
So that's cool.
We'll see how those Woo titles turn out because I wasn't the
Yeah.
biggest fan of those Blu-rays that they. I think it's was it Dragon Dynasty or some shit?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, John Woo, yeah.
Yeah, those are not great because I have the Killer and that Blu-ray is not good. Same with Hard Boiled, so it'll be nice to see a really souped up version of both of those. It's two of my favorites.
I mean, to be fair, I probably liked more Shout than Stream stuff recently. Like for Christmas, I got a Red Skelton collection. Just someone knew I was a fan, and that was an interesting thing. I mean, like I said, Shout Factory. I mean, they seem to be a bit more on the ball than Stream.
I agree with that now for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're right, Roland. You fucking remember that, and I didn't. They stole my spooky pins. That's what it was. They got a bunch of fucking spookies pins, and they were just, they had to be like, "What the hell is this?" Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out, Dirk. I'm looking forward to it because I've never seen that one. Naked You Die. Check
it doesn't mind it. It's early as Yellow, 1960. That is early, yeah.
Hmm.
Isn't Dark Glasses the Argento one? I think. I don't know if that one is or not.
It's on Shudder. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
a Shudder, like original or anything. I don't think so.
Yes, I'm gonna have to buy this. Unfortunately, like I saw this recently too. The Cat 3 set, Supernatural Shockers. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hate to do it, but it's gonna have to happen because my love for Cat 3 goes beyond my hatred for Scream Factory. So
No chance he'll get a freebie of that one, huh?
there's no chance we'll get a freebie anything from them assholes. I will say this: what I liked about Naked You Die was the early '60s and '70s vibe, reminding me of the Brady Bunch killer. Did neither Mark or Uncle Bill get Hush on 4K after the almost 10 years it took to release them? I didn't. I mean, I can still watch it on whatever, and that's a movie that like I like and everything, but
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't find myself ever going back to watch that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe if it's on like one of their super sales at the end of the year or something, and it's really, really cheap, maybe I'd consider it. But I just know like the price that they had it at. I just didn't see myself paying that for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. It's just too expensive.
Yeah.
So one thing you can always count on with Scream Factory, it's going to be super expensive for no reason.
Yeah.
Even though I was a huge fan of the film, Kyle Garner's performance in Strange Darlings was probably one of the best of the year.
I haven't seen it. I've heard good things.
I like his performance in it. I was never a big fan of him. Like everything he was in, I thought was kind of shitty for the most part. And he just never really appealed to me in pretty much anything, but I did think he was really good in that.
Yep.
It surprised me.
Did you see The Passenger?
I don't think so.
That's one that's a good Kyle Gallner role performance. I recommend The Passenger. Came out 2023.
Yeah, that's not a horror one, is it?
It's a thriller. It's a guy working fast food, and then Kyle Gallner kind of goes in and kind of shoots up the place, then takes them on kind of like this road trip, and they're kind of
Okay, I think I did. I didn't see the movie, but I do remember seeing something on that.
yeah. I thought that was a good performances. Like Kyle Gallner, I thought that's the best I had seen him. I haven't seen Strange Darlings, but other ones I've seen, that was the best I've seen from him performance wise. So
Yeah, all the stuff. I think the problem is all the movies that he was in was like it was all horror stuff, and it's like
Elm Street remake.
yeah, the Nightmare remake, and what was it, Haunting in Connecticut, or one of those fucking movies. Like all that horror stuff that he did.
Yeah,
I didn't like any of those movies.
yeah.
So that didn't help anything.
I probably will because that is Savannah's favorite movie. I've never liked that movie, but it's her favorite
Well,
movie.
for obvious reasons, yeah.
Yeah. Get me fucking started.
It's one of his most favorite fan favorites. It's a cult flick. Come on, UB.
I will be seeing Roadhouse remake soon, so I'll see how that is.
Wait, you haven't seen it?
No, I got requested recently, so I'll have to watch Roadhouse remake.
Well, you are in for a treat.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Conor
You saw
McGregor's
it?
fucking performance. I had to because everybody kept talking about Conor McGregor being crazy and coked out in it. So like
your
I had
thoughts.
to go see it.
Your
It's
thoughts on it?
it's one of the dumbest films you'll ever see in your life. And it's got Jake Gyllenhaal, which is why I didn't want to watch it originally. And then everybody just kept going on about Conor McGregor and how goofy he is, and he is like. I can't wait until you see that movie just to hear your.
Was it something about fight scenes being CG or something?
There's some of them that are edited with like what it looks like to be AI. Yeah.
Yeah, they do look a little off or something's going on there. Doesn't look right.
Great.
I can't wait. That's funny.
Isn't there a sequel to that coming at some point too? I thought I remember reading
I
that.
hope not.
That was a while ago, so who knows if they're still going to do it.
I certainly hope not.
Certainly hope not. No, I don't think they'll ever do a sequel to that now, considering like how bad that movie kind of went over.
Mm-hmm.
All the all you can handle. Yeah. I don't own any of Radiant's titles, Dirk. I don't know why, but I just don't. It's not a label I think of for some reason.
Is that a new company?
I'm not sure how new
Well,
it is.
Dirk, put in some titles that they would have put out, ones that we would know. I don't think I have any of those.
Nah, never heard of.
Hopium says,
Thank
also
you,
to
Hopium.
continue, the beef Nick Cage gave one of the best performances of the year in Long Legs. Fuck you, Matt.
Thank you, Hopium.
Uh,
Yeah. You can
Thank
keep
you.
long legs.
Thank you, Hopium. I appreciate that. You're 100% correct. Don't let anybody tell you differently.
God.
I have not seen Life After Fighting, but I know that one came with like. What didn't you say it was your movie of the year, Rambo, or your action movie of the year, or something like that?
Yes, mine. I know Mark saw it and he liked it.
Oh yeah, I loved it. Fucking great. Yeah, me and Matt had a conversation about like films like that not being in the theater, not going over with the mainstream.
Because I talked a little bit via chat on Facebook with the star, the director,
Yeah,
and he talked about how for films like that, no one wants physical media anymore, studios. So it's only a few theaters streaming, and it's on like Tubi and stuff. But studios, because there's not a big star, because it's not a big franchise, they're not really looking into physical media. It's not a cult film, which they're more like viable to sell on a boutique label. So no no physical media, no
Mhm.
Blu-ray or anything for stuff like that, and just how the business is today for newer films. Again, unless you're a bigger studio picture, maybe, but it is how it is.
I've wondered this too. Like this Ignite Films company, like the one that's coming out with Reanimator. I don't know anything about them,
Mhm.
but somebody said that there's one other movie that they released, or maybe two before this, and they said they got them and like that they were good quality and stuff. So I don't know anything about that company, and I probably won't buy that release. I feel weird about buying something from somebody that has no experience really in putting shit like that out, and it's probably going to cost a damn fortune too.
Yeah.
So it's the older Invaders from Mars, and someone called The Story of G.I. Joe, and then Reanimator, like you mentioned.
Didn't we do this not too long ago? Rank the Lost Boys, Fright Night, and Near Dark.
Baby.
I don't know. I mean, I know we talked about those recently in
Yeah.
a previous
Okay.
stream.
Of those, my favorite is Fright Night.
Mhm.
Worst. I go Lost Boys too, just for that fucking guy, surfer Angus Sutherland. Try to be Tiefer so badly, and you're not him, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Shit. That's pretty tough because I like all three of those.
Bayard ranked it. He loves Lost Boys and Friday Night.
Yeah, I know he's not a fan.
Have him rank this.
I think he said Near Dark's his favorite.
Yeah.
Which I mean, shit, I love Near Darks. I mean, it's
yeah.
Speaking of which, where the fuck is that 4K?
It's never coming.
Where's the what's going on?
Who was supposed to do it?
I think was it Studio Canal? I think that's the name that keeps popping up in my head. I could be wrong on that.
Near Dark 4K Studio Canal. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't coming.
Talk about another one that's gonna sell out like crazy when it comes out.
You know the one that everybody's waiting on. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but Fright Night 2. If that ever comes out, that'll be the only other one I can think of where people will shit their pants and fall back in it and do a backflip. They'll be skiing and shit on that one. Why do I hate Jake Gyllenhaal so much? I mean, the better question is, why don't you hate Jake Gyllenhaal as much as I do? That's how I'll answer that question.
Oh man,
I mean, he just represents everything there is to hate about movie stars. He's generic. He looks generic. He acts generic. He's just nothing about him is memorable, or he's never given a performance. And people bring out Nightcrawler all the time. I don't give a fuck about that movie either. He's never given a performance that I gave a shit about at all. It's like Channing Tatum, except Channing Tatum has at least got the fucking decency to like not take himself seriously by doing those 21 Jump Street movies, which I actually like. But Jake Gyllenhaal ain't doing shit like that. He really takes himself way too seriously. Him and his fucking hydrocephalic sister that I can't stand either. The ET head carrying it around like I don't know how she doesn't topple over from that big watermelon-sized melon.
You still need to watch Blink Twice. Speaking of Channing Tatum, you got to check that out.
I wish I could blink twice and get rid of them Gyllenhaals. Like magic.
They're Hollywood royalty, man. Come on.
I do like Nightcrawler. I do like Southpaw with Jay Gyllenhaal. I do like some of his movies.
I love it when people do this. Mark or Bill, Rambo, fuck you. Did you pick up the classic Jill the Ripper? If anybody picked that up, it's going to be Rambo too, which is the funny part about it. With Dolph Lundgren.
He knows I'm not a fan of that movie.
No.
That's why.
Yeah, that's not one of his better ones. I'm not getting that.
Dolph dealing with BDSM.
I'm surprised too. Like I thought that for sure was going to happen.
You'd think that they would. I mean, that last release that they did of it was pretty badass. Had that integral cut of the movie on there. Great packaging. It was honestly, I'd be okay with that. I mean, I don't know what more you could do to Reanimator. I'm not saying I wouldn't be tempted to get a 4K of it, but
I forgot about this, man. I completely forgot until he brings this up. But do you remember when he played a Persian in the video game adaptation? Persian?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Can't forget that.
My God.
Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah, Bubble Boy. Yeah, Dirk. I like Killer Cop. But yeah, the other ones I don't have anything from that label. Thanks for putting those in. But I'll check them out.
So I guess coming up on 2 hours and 30 minutes, we might want to think about shutting this down. But yeah, big thanks to everybody that came in here tonight and that was on the chat. Huge thanks to David Lynch for being killer and rest in peace for sure. Moving forward though, I couldn't tell you a single damn thing that we're doing in the future in terms of shows or anything like that. I don't think we have anything coming up this weekend. Yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. But what about you, Rambo? What are you doing?
Just catching up on requests. A lot of stuff coming through the pipeline. Either more video game stuff that were requested, more horror films. One called Spring from 2014. It's a Wonderful Knife. Saw that. Didn't like it. Didn't think it was much.
Yeah.
Did you like seeing William B. Davis get killed?
I bet you did, Mark.
That's asking you. That's a question for you. Yeah, that one. Long story short, that's a movie where I don't even think the gimmick was that interesting. I just thought Look to the Killer was cool, but it's just like, okay, I don't know. And then it turns to people in a trance, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, where did this come from? And then all of a sudden, this girl's a lesbian, all out of the blue. I'm like, where did that come from? Like, she's hanging with this girl the whole time, and all of a sudden they kiss. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from?
That's part of the twist.
That's the
twist. But real quickly, thank you, Joe. I saw your super chat. I haven't seen The Prestige. I've heard good things about The Prestige, but I have not seen it. Yeah, Christian Bale. I mean, was it? Yeah, Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, it's a Nolan movie.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's good.
But thank you, Joe, for that, and much more to come. How about you, Mark?
Probably just another attempt at a video game stream with you if we can get it to work this time. For anybody wondering, previously we have tried pre-recorded streams, but we've had issues. I think you uploaded a little bit to your channel, like.
Oh, the one that failed from Manhunt. I just added like a
Yeah.
5-minute, like, this is why it failed.
Yeah.
Funny bit.
We're gonna be trying again when he's got time, and that should be the next thing up on at least my channel. So yeah, and it'll be a lower frame rate game, so it should work a lot better.
I guess the last thing I'm going to do is I want to give a little bit of a shout out to my uncle. Sally passed away today, and it was cool that my middle name is Walter, like his first name. Seemed like a very nice guy. Just give a little shout. I'm just giving my own little shout out to him and to his family. So this was a great relief. This is a great. Because here's the thing: you always got to take your mind off stuff, and this was a great. This actually, the timing worked where these two guys were very nice and cool, and everyone in the chat's been nice and cool, and sometimes you gotta do that to get your mind off stuff, and it was a pleasure like always. So that's always a good thing. Just gotta take things day by day.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear about that, man.
Yeah, sorry for your loss. I had no idea. So this one's for Walter.
Yeah.
So on that note, we're gonna close this out tonight. I would really quickly like to toss over a plug for Dirk, though. He's got a show. We're not doing any shows, but he's got a show coming up tomorrow at 8:00 on Franco Nero Film. So check that out over on Subjective Perspective Collective. I'm not sure if he's linking that to Dead Pit or not, but it's on his for sure. And Nick B says, rest in peace to your Uncle Walter, Matt. Sad to hear.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Very nice of you.
Well, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you guys next Friday, I guess.
Yep.
See ya.
I want all these people to click everything they're supposed to click.
You haven't been liking them, you haven't been subscribing to them, you haven't clicked the bell or notification or anything like that.
Folks, why don't you click the like button?
Do you hate us? Do you not want to see us succeed?
Why don't you click the heart button?
Is this something that you have against our particular show?
Why don't you subscribe?
You should click on one of them buttons right now if you want us to continue to bring greatness into your life.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit radio shirts. You can get Last South on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. You know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
Here's what other fucking Patreons do. They're like, hey, give us money and then we'll let you see a video early that we're going to release like a fucking week from now, and then that's all we're going to give you. Meanwhile, we have a literal jukebox full of songs, thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram. Help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So Dead Pit on Patreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least